Gilly, disappointing night here in York. How do you sum that up?
Yeah, like you said, disappointing. First of all, we've got to apologise, to the fans for the performance and the score. It's obviously not what we're set out for, not what we're about, as a team and as a club. So yeah, very disappointing. But when we look at it, we're going to have to put it to bed quickly because we've got big games coming up, thick and fast. So yeah, we'll move on. It's 3 points dropped, but we know we can't let that happen again.
They scored, took the lead early on. That seemed to kind of set the tone going forward, didn't it?
Yeah, I think obviously they were a good side and they were at it, and we kind of let them get into the rhythm with that first goal. It kind of put us on the back foot. So it's a tough one. Still, the manner of the goals that were conceded aren't good enough. We know they're not good enough, and as a performance, we've just got to put it to bed. But like I say, we've got to apologise for it because it's not what we're about, and I'm sure the fans are as frustrated as we are.
What was said at the break, was it almost damage limitation at that stage, or was there still hopes of a route back in?
I think when it's 2-0, I think we need to, as senior players, the senior players on the pitch, we need to just get to half time at 2-0, and manage the game. But we couldn't do that, and then the third goal, it's another sloppy one to concede a second phase. So going in 3-0, you just need to try and come out and have a bit of pride. And I've been there before, I'm sure a few of the lads have been. It's just about pride, trying to get back into the game, but then we'll concede so early again. And it's tough. We've got a few young lads in there and obviously a few experienced boys, so we just try to keep at it, but it wasn't meant to be.
Big 3 points last Saturday at Altley, under a lot of tough circumstances, the weather, Luke being out, things like that. What changed from that performance to tonight, would you say?
I don't know, I should probably just say, we conceded goals at poor times, and we'll let them get into the rhythm. At Altley we kind of imposed our game on them, and we didn't really feel like we did that here tonight. But conceding goals that early in both halves, it kills you as a team and you don't get any momentum. So it's one of them that it's tough to take.
Obviously, like you say, tough to take, losing a game generally, but the manner in which it's happened tonight, off the back of 4 wins in a row, that must really be frustrating for you.
Yeah, it's massively frustrating. It's disappointing for us as a group. It's not what we're about, and it's a tough one to take. No one wants to get beat, and especially in that manner, no one wants to get beat. But if we look at it and we dust ourselves down and we put it to bed, we've lost 3 points. In the grand scheme of things, that's all we've lost. So we've just got to make sure we put it right in the next game. And then, like I say, there's games coming thick and fast where we can put another run together. That's what we've got to do. Just go on another run.
Looking at a few of the details of the game itself, we seem to, always be losing out on those second balls, even like thirds of points. Why do you think that was?
I don't know. Maybe it's just, they were probably more at it. They had the tails up from early on getting the goal, and it was, like I say, it was tough to get them off the rhythm. They were a good side, and we just couldn't seem to get our rhythm in the game. And, we still had a few chances here and there, but, it amounted to nothing, so it doesn't really mean out.
1,500 plus, like we said at the start, made the trip down here tonight. What's the message to them on behalf of everyone this evening?
Just thank you, thank you for coming. They're a big support and they're a big help for us when they come away. But we've let them down tonight, but we'd like to think we can bounce back and show them what we're made of again on Saturday. And we've just got to stick with us. This has got to be one of them ones where it's a flash in the pan. It only happens once. So, just stick with us and get behind us still, and I'm sure we can go on a good ride this year. Was
that message kind of echoed at full time as well? Quick turnaround going into Saturday, let's put things right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, the game's coming thick and fast. We've got a lot of games coming up, and when they're coming this fast, you can put results and performances like this to bed very quickly. So, we're just looking forward to Saturday, and we can't wait to get out there and put it right.
Thanks for your time.